on the street is that Kelly Rowland finally reached her breaking point and is allegedly dropping hints that the sisterhood between Solange and Beyoncé was always more about PR than DNA. But that's not even the real tea. Sources say Beyoncé isn't mad. She actually prefers it that way because she's always wanted people close to her to stay in her shadow. I mean, I know Beyoncé has been slammed for not caring about Solo, and I never expected this to come from Kelly, but let's get into what is being said. Here's the thing, guys. We've watched Kelly and Solange play their parts in Bey's life for years, and I'm talking always standing 2 steps behind while Beyoncé takes the center spotlight, even though they are both super talented on their own. I mean, Kelly has made her mark by herself by being a Grammy Award-winning artist, a New York Times best-selling author, with multiple platinum-selling records, movie accolades, and production credits to name a few accomplishments. However, even with all these solo accomplishments, many interviews tend to heavily include questions about Beyoncé and DC. For instance, there was an interview she did on Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg, and the host just kept insisting that Kelly came second to Beyoncé.
You happen to be standing next to the brightest light on planet Earth. Like, you think Big Boy from Outkast has it tough being next to Andre. You're with Beyonce, and not only did you not fight it, it seems like you really loved the position that you were in and took it seriously. And
you know, the host could have read the room, but he doubled down on his remarks about Kelly's role within DC, and she was just not having it. Now, people have always felt that it's been pretty unfair how Kelly has had to fight and explain herself all the time, while her so-called sister never did anything to change the narrative. Actually, there was time in 2020 during an episode of The Voice Australia where Kelly opened up about being compared to Beyoncé after a contestant told her that he's struggled to find his own identity, and she said she totally gets it.
It would get me.
I know this feeling. Can you imagine what it's like being in a group with Beyonce? I would just torture myself in my head like, well, I can't wear this dress because they're gonna say it's like B, or I can't have a song like that because it sounds too much like B. They're gonna compare anyways. I would be lying if I said, no, it's never bothered me. That's bull.
In addition, not so long ago, Kelly was on V103 Atlanta discussing her Netflix thriller Mea Culpa when, mid-interview, host Big Tigger started asking her about Beyoncé's announcement of Act 2 and the possibility of Act 3 being a DC reunion album. And what pissed Kelly even more was host Jazzy McBee chiming in to explain why they asked that and said she was always gonna get asked about DC.
And I know that you all are tired of answering those questions. But fans like me for the DC and Destiny's Child reunion, and when y'all took that picture, it got me really excited in my feelings. I'm like, okay, is this really going to happen? Well, we still gotta ask every time we see either you. We never see Brittany. Come on.
No, but just ask them. I'm here talking about Mea Culpa.
I mean, of course she was mad because she's been trying to tell people that she is her own person for over a decade. Kelly also literally sang about being jealous of Beyoncé's success and told us years ago how heavy that shadow was. But based on what people said, Beyoncé kept the umbrella open anyway and was happy to keep Kelly in her shadow. So yeah, she knows exactly what it means to be in Beyoncé's shadow. And Kelly knows why Solange started distancing herself from her own sister and family. And it's because Beyoncé wants all the attention for either her or her daughter. Well, we have had people saying over the years that given the number of times Kelly has been asked about Beyoncé, B hasn't done enough to discourage it. And because of that, people still say to date that she is a fake friend. In fact, we had people pointing out how B has seemingly encouraged and entertained the comparisons since the days of DC, just like she has encouraged the comparisons to Solange. Basically, what this means is that Solange and Kelly aren't sisters in the traditional sense. They are part of the brand. And the shadow is the only place they were ever allowed to be. And to a lot of people, this is actually the real reason why Solange is not as close as she used to be to Beyoncé. But it's not just been about the constant comparison, by the way. Allegedly, the other reason why Solange kept her distance from Beyoncé is because she has been trying for years to get B to leave Jay-Z, for reasons we can all guess, but Beyoncé won't listen to her. In fact, with everything going on with Jay-Z and Beyoncé, a source close to Solange exclusively revealed that she has been left fearing that there could be no coming back if Beyoncé continues to support Jay-Z. The insider claimed that Solange has long been vocal about her hate for Jay-Z after he was caught cheating on Beyoncé, and they also said Solange told Beyoncé she warned her a decade ago and she wouldn't listen. The source also noted that Beyoncé is getting immense pressure from her sister, who's telling her she can still leave. Honey, as if these aren't bad enough for Solange, there have also been allegations that Mama Tina might have contributed to why Beyoncé and Solange have issues, because she apparently doesn't even try to hide that she loves Beyoncé more than Solange. Of course, over the years, there have been speculations that Tina treats Beyoncé better than Solange, even though Solange contributed to B's success by writing most of her music. Allegedly, Solange got tired of being used and barely getting any recognition. In fact, recently, people said that it was very clear how Mama Tina has always preferred B over Solo. She was giving a story about how she named Solange, and she said that she was looking for her great-grandmother's name from her dad's side because she has never really known that side of the family, and she found out that her mother's middle name was Solange. Like when she was naming Solange, she had no idea that the name ran in her ancestry and only picked it up from her book that had baby names, only for her to realize much later that a couple of women from her ancestry were named Solange.
These are women that you didn't know.
Can you believe it was the ancestors speaking to me?
Oh my gosh.
And I called Solange and Beyonce immediately and sent it to them, and they were just in awe of it. And
Lord, yeah.
Solange called me back and she was like, Mama, what kind of voodoo, Louisiana mess is this? Are you serious? Are you sure? And I was like, I'm positive.
She also talked a lot about their upbringing, and to a lot of people, it really looked like Tina put more effort on Beyoncé than Solange, and consequently, Solange may have developed some sort of hatred that made her drift. And when you look back at her getting pregnant and married at just 17, it really starts to look like a massive cry for help. It was like she was trying to create her own world and her own family just to have something that didn't belong to the Knowles brand. Basically, Solange traded the stage for a suburban life in Idaho, of all places, almost as if she was running as far away from the spotlight as possible just to breathe. And her love choices? OMG. These have been messy. From that super early marriage to Daniel Smith that ended in divorce while she was still basically a kid, to her later split from Alan Ferguson, it feels like she's constantly searching for a stability she never had as the second sister. Fans have actually noticed a pattern where she picks these artsy, low-key men, almost as a middle finger to the high-glamour, billionaire status life Beyoncé lives. Well, what can I say? If you grow up feeling like you're the alternative choice, you start making alternative choices in your personal life too, even if they aren't good for you. I personally find it sad that Bey and Solange are not as close, even though in the past they were literally joined at the hip. Like, Solange literally fought for Beyoncé. On the other hand, Bey was also very vocal about how she protected Solange when they were in school. I mean, there was even a conspiracy theory that the two were so close because Beyoncé is actually Solange's mother and not her big sister. But now, it's like a ghost town between these two. Well, Kelly is the one who has seen it all from the inside, and if she says that Solange ain't Beyoncé's sister no more, baby, she knows what's up. Insiders are reporting that she's been in the middle of their tension since they were kids, but lately, she's allegedly been talking about how exhausting it is to keep up the happy family front when the two of them barely speak outside of scheduled events. According to insiders, behind the scenes, Kelly has been finally saying what we've all been feeling, which is that the bond between Beyoncé and Solange just isn't what it used to be. Do you think she actually has a point? Have you noticed the rift between Solange and Beyoncé? And what are your thoughts on Kelly allegedly spilling the beans? Sound off in the comments section down below.